Song about not wanting to be in a state of having to deal with unrequited love.
They used to call him the most dangerous man in rock and roll. Now, at 63, the danger's gone, but what's left might break your heart. Axl Rose disappeared for years. No one knew where he went or what had become of him. Then, in 2025, he walked back on stage looking like someone else entirely. Thinner, quieter, older, but somehow lighter, too. Behind the gates of his $5 million Malibu mansion, he'd been hiding something, a secret life built on scars, silence, and a collection of cars that could buy half of Sunset Boulevard. But it wasn't the machines or the money that shocked people. It was how much he'd changed. To understand Axl Rose today, you have to go back to when he was still William Bruce Rose Jr., a kid from Lafayette, Indiana, who never really got to be a kid. His mother, Sharon, was 16, his father, 20. They were too young, too wild, too lost. When Axl was 2, his father vanished, just gone. No goodbye, no explanation. Years later, the truth came out. He'd been kidnapped, hurt, violated before he could even speak. His father had taken him, and what happened in those missing days would haunt him forever. Court records proved it, family confirmed it. The damage was real, and it went deep. Sharon remarried quickly. The new man, Stephen Bailey, was a Pentecostal preacher who believed fear could save souls. He adopted Axl and changed his name to William Bailey. From that moment on, his childhood became a cage of sermons and beatings. The house had rules for everything. No TV, no music, no questions. He was whipped for looking at the wrong thing, starved for speaking out, forced to pray for hours while his stepfather preached about love and practiced cruelty. Axl learned early that silence was safer than truth. He learned to sing before he learned to trust. At 5, he joined the church choir, his voice pure, angelic, powerful. People clapped. They didn't see the bruises. By 14, the lies inside his house were too heavy to carry. One afternoon, he found insurance papers that listed another last name, Rose. That's when it all broke. He realized the man he called Dad wasn't his father. He trashed the furniture, screamed until his voice cracked, and ended up in a psychiatric ward. Doctors called him manic, prescribed lithium, and wrote his pain down as a diagnosis. They didn't know they were treating a boy who'd been living in hell. He got out and he started fighting back. At 15, he formed a tiny bar band. They covered Aerosmith and Nazareth, playing in Lafayette's roughest dives. The cops came often. Fights, broken bottles, shouting matches. He was arrested again and again. Public intoxication, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest. He didn't care. The stage felt like the only place he could breathe. In 1980, after a false accusation nearly destroyed him, he overdosed. He tried to end it. Somehow, he survived. He packed a bag, scraped together $50, and hitchhiked to Los Angeles. He was 18. LA wasn't kind. He slept on benches, played guitar for change, got chased by store owners, attacked by strangers. But he didn't stop. The more the world beat him down, the louder he sang. In the heat and chaos of Hollywood's clubs, he found Izzy Stradlin, another Lafayette kid with the same wild hunger. Together, they formed Hollywood Rose, then something bigger, Guns N' Roses. The rest is the kind of history you only get once in a lifetime. Appetite for Destruction, July 21st, 1987. A debut album that changed everything. The songs were raw, angry, alive. Every lyric was pulled straight from Axl's scars, his broken family, his rage, his loneliness. Welcome to the Jungle wasn't a metaphor, it was his life. By 1988, Appetite hit #1. Sweet Child of Mine exploded across MTV. For a moment, Axl Rose was untouchable, the red-haired hurricane who could silence a stadium with one scream. But fame didn't heal him, it magnified the wounds. Behind the lights, his relationship with model Erin Everly was crumbling into violence. The same emotions that made his music powerful made his love terrifying. Lawsuits, restraining orders, hospital visits, stories no fans wanted to believe. He threatened suicide, smashed furniture, and begged forgiveness in the same breath. The world called it rock star drama. It wasn't. It was trauma playing out in real time. On stage, the chaos followed him. Donington, 1988, 2 fans crushed to death in the crowd. St. Louis, 1991, Axl spots a camera, jumps into the audience, fights the guy, ends the show, and triggers a riot that injures 50 people. Every time he lost control, the headlines wrote him off as unstable. No one saw the scared kid behind the fury. Then came Use Your Illusion. 2 albums, 14 million copies, and a tour that made $60 million, but cost him almost everything. Bandmates quit, girlfriends left. He was sued, mocked, exhausted. He tried therapy, hypnosis, even past life regression to explain why he hurt the people he loved. He said he saw other lives, other centuries, other versions of himself. Maybe it was madness. Maybe it was the only way he could make sense of the pain. By the mid-90s, everyone had walked away. Slash, Duff, Izzy, all gone. The man who once commanded stadiums now locked himself inside a mansion with nothing but memories and unfinished songs. He built a studio there, chasing perfection that never came. Chinese Democracy became legend long before it was released. 13 years, $13 million, dozens of engineers, endless versions of the same songs. When it finally dropped in 2008, people didn't know what to think. Some called it genius, others called it proof that Axl Rose had lost his mind. He didn't respond. He didn't need to. For almost a decade, he vanished again. No interviews, no appearances, just silence. Then, out of nowhere, he came back. March 31st, 2016, the Troubadour in Los Angeles, the same place it all began. Guns N' Roses reunited. Axl broke his foot the first night, performed sitting down on Dave Grohl's borrowed throne, and smiled through the pain. The tour was called Not in This Lifetime. It earned over $500 million. For fans, it wasn't about money, it was about forgiveness. But even that comeback came with shadows. Vocal strain, collapsing on stage, canceled shows. The man who once screamed higher than anyone else was running out of voice. He worked with coaches, changed his range, learned to sing softer. It wasn't weakness, it was survival. By 2025, Axl Rose was living a life few could imagine. His Malibu mansion overlooked the Pacific like a fortress, 4 acres of solitude. Inside, a private studio where he still records. In the garage, a Ferrari Enzo worth more than $2 million, a Porsche 918 Spider, a Carrera GT, machines of pure precision for a man who once thrived on chaos. But for all the wealth, his life isn't about excess anymore. After 9/11, he quietly gave $200,000 to the Red Cross. He's funded environmental projects in the Amazon, supported AIDS research, helped former bandmates in rehab. In 2024, he launched the Axl Rose Foundation for kids who grew up like he did, hurt, unheard, and trying to survive. He almost never talks about it. He doesn't need the credit. In public, he keeps his distance. No social media rants, no press feuds, no cameras. Just the occasional glimpse of a man still wrestling with the noise in his own head. When he walks out on stage now, the old swagger's still there, but the anger is gone. What's left is gratitude. This year, he did something no one expected. A graphic novel, Axl Rose, Appetite for Destruction, a neon-soaked cyberpunk world where a half-human, half-machine rock singer fights to save what's left of his soul. People laughed at first. Then they saw the art, the themes, the loneliness, and realized it was him. It was the story of a man who spent his whole life trying to survive himself. When the tour hit Buenos Aires last month, a technical glitch made him snap. His monitors failed. He kicked the drum, threw the mic, and stormed off. The clip went viral. Everyone called it a meltdown. But when he came back minutes later and finished the set, something in his voice had changed. Softer, sadder, honest. Because after all these years, Axl Rose isn't running anymore. He's still loud, still unpredictable, still haunted, but he's present.
He lives quietly, drives fast, gives back, and writes. And when he does step into the light, you can see it, the reflection of everything he's been through. The boy who was beaten for asking questions, the teenager who found his real name in a drawer, the man who lost control on stage and learned how to find it again. People used to call him dangerous. Now they call him a survivor. And maybe that's the real story, that somewhere between the riots and the records, the lawsuits and the headlines, the world forgot that Axl Rose was never just chaos. He was a child trying to heal, a man trying to feel something real. So if you see him today, gray hair under a bandana, quiet smile instead of a scream, remember what he's been through. Because behind every rock legend is a life that didn't have to end well.